One person is dead after an officer-involved shooting. Now, the 3 deputies involved are on administrative leave. NBC2 uncovers details.
Plus, as you wake up this morning, temperatures are mild across southwest Florida, but big cool down on the way. I'll have your first alert forecast on the 2s.
I heard. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, this morning, deputies are working to close 2 homicide cases. Coming up next, we have the latest details on the investigations.
Live, the news you count on. NBC2 News Today.
5:02 CNN. An officer-involved shooting lands 3 Charlotte County deputies on administrative leave. That shooting happened Sunday morning at a home on Lowell Avenue in Port Charlotte. Deputies were responding to a call about a man trying to harm himself when a shot was fired. Now, it's unclear this morning who opened fire, but no one was hurt. The man inside was taken into custody.
And I didn't pay any attention. You know, they weren't doing anything other than just talking. And then when they started to go down there, the guy came up and they had their guns and everything out, and they said, well, you better go inside. So I went in the house here.
That full investigation is underway right now, and as you probably know, it is standard operating procedure for the officers involved to be put on paid leave until that investigation is complete.
6 days into the new year, and deputies are already working to close 2 homicide cases. The first in Lehigh Acres, where a man was killed in his own front yard. NBC2 talked to a friend who saw the victim moments before it all happened. Holly Hojek was on scene and has the story.
I was in shock. I mean, I'm still in shock. I ain't sank in.
As daybreak arrived, a gruesome crime scene was revealed on Wyoming Road in Lehigh Acres. 28-year-old Dana Thomas Stump brutally killed in his own front yard early Saturday morning. A friend tells us he saw Stump outside his house moments before he was killed.
I drove by and seen some people out there arguing.
Deputies got a 911 call just after midnight for a disturbance at Stump's home. When they arrived, Stump was found dead in the front yard. Witnesses tell us another person was kneeling down in the driveway, then taken away in an ambulance.
Like I said, he was an all right dude. He had a daughter. I know he loved her.
Stump's friend says he had a lot of pent-up anger due to issues over not being able to see his daughter.
I think that's what drug him to drinking, and he was getting out of control. I mean, God forbid, you know, I didn't think this was going to happen.
Neighbors tell us the 2 people fighting used broken beer bottles to stab each other.
I seen a dude out there wrestling with him, and there was a girl in the truck.
That white truck was towed away from the crime scene hours after the deadly brawl. Tonight we uncovered Stump had been in and out of jail the last 4 years. Neighbors tell us despite his troubled past, he was a nice guy.
I mean, he was a good-hearted dude. He didn't mean no harm.
Holly Hojek reporting 5:04 right now. Now to our second homicide investigation. This one in Lee County, and this one taking place in Cape Coral.
Yeah, a man was gunned down in a parking lot early Saturday morning, but the killer or killers are still on the loose this morning. It all happened along Southeast 12th Avenue, and right now that's where NBC2's Danielle Klinek is live with the very latest. Danielle.
Clay and Krista, the scene here much different. You can see the parking lot empty, but this weekend it was a much different story as it became a crime scene. With only 6 days into the new year, Cape Coral has already seen its first homicide of 2014. Neighbors tell us around 4 a.m. they heard gunshots. When police arrived at the apartment complex, they found a man lying in the parking lot dead. Now, they do believe that the victim and the suspect knew each other. This morning, as they continue their efforts in the investigation and the search for the suspect or suspects, we're working to learn the name or the identity of the victim. Of course, you can count on NBC2 for the latest in the developments on this investigation. For now, we're live in Cape Coral this morning. Danielle Klinek, NBC2.
Thank you, Danielle. It is back to work this week for Congress, and Congress has a lot on its plate this session. So what's at the top of the list?
Restoring unemployment benefits, but that also means our controversial Congressman Trey Radel will be back in Washington. NBC2's Nick Saletti staying on top of all things politics for us right now, live in the newsroom. Nick?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Many eyes will be on Representative Trey Radel's first time back on the job in Washington since going to rehab in Naples right before Thanksgiving. In November, he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of cocaine possession after admitting to purchasing the drug in an undercover sting in D.C. Meantime, his colleagues in Congress have some big items to tackle. We did some digging this morning and found found out at the top of the list right now is unemployment benefits. Long-term unemployment benefits expired over the holidays. President Barack Obama is back in Washington this morning, and he said the first order of business is to restore those benefits. The Senate is expected to take a vote today on a bipartisan measure. It would be a 3-month extension. We're learning it will impact more than 1 million people who lost those benefits. Republicans, though, are vowing to make some spending cuts first.
So when Congress comes back to work this week, their first order of business should be making this right.
It needs to be paid for, but we also need to do something for long-term unemployed people, and that is we need to create something new that would create jobs.
All right, so hearing from both sides there. Also on the table, Republicans in the House will try to banish Obamacare again. The debt ceiling needs to go up. The president wants minimum wage to also go up. And nearly everybody is gunning for some kind of comprehensive immigration reform. Now, going back to Radel, he has off today with the rest of the House. The freshman lawmaker will have to serve a year on probation, but has vowed to stay in office, even though several key Republicans, including Governor Rick Scott, have called for him to step down. We also know that the House Ethics Committee is still doing its own investigation this morning. We are live in the newsroom. Nick Soletti, NBC2. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Nick. We have a crime alert right now. This morning, police are looking for a pair of burglars. It was all caught on camera, and now police are asking for your help trying to figure out who these two men are who hit up a Fort Myers gas station. Take a look. Investigators say the man used a stolen truck to smash through a window and steal cash from a damaged ATM. These are surveillance pictures of the man inside the BP gas station. There's the stolen truck. It happened near Colonial and Winkler. The burglars eventually ditched that truck at a nearby apartment complex and drove off in a car, possibly a Chevy Impala. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. And happening today, it is the last day to register to vote for the Naples election on February 4th. You have until midnight tonight to sign up. You can register at the Supervisors of Elections office or online. The office is open from 8 to 5. 4 candidates are vying for 3 spots on the City Council. And if you register online, just head to our website, nbc-2.com, and click on news links.
It's back. Sand hauling dump trucks will be back on Collier County roads starting this week. Officials confirmed to us that the renourishment will start today on Pelican Beach. They'll be loading a little more than 30,000 tons of sand there. Compare that to the 100,000 tons that were placed on Vanderbilt. A legal challenge held up work there due to the concerns with turtle nesting season. 509 if you want to learn more about fertilizers and what to use during certain times of the year in Southwest Florida. Here's your chance. Tomorrow, Lee County commissioners are planning to lock in a deal with a natural resources firm. Commissioners are teaming up for an educational program aimed at teaching you, the homeowner, about when and what kind of fertilizer to use during the rainy season so area waters aren't polluted.
Great to be with you on this Monday, and great to see you again, Clay,
yes.
after some time off.
It has been 2 weeks since we anchored together. Yeah, you went nightside, and I was on vacation. I was up in the mountains, the Southern Virginia mountains, did snow tubing, did some nature hikes, roasted marshmallows. It was a good time, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, good to be having you with us again. And up next, a gunman is shooting his way into a hospital, and then he turned the gun on himself.
This is a crazy story. It happened right here in Florida. Now several questions are left in the wake of the shooting. Yeah, what if you're in a hospital like that? We have details coming up next. Haley?
Well, this morning we're starting off pretty mild, but look at what we're headed toward tonight. Into the 30s across much of Southwest Florida. Get ready for a big cool down. I'll let you know how long the cool weather sticks around in my first alert forecast on the 2s.